111. XTRON. The people are called Xtron in the galaxy of XRON. They make computers and monitors. I got there on the morning space bus and it was really early, everything was still closed. I walked to the Wisha Inn and I went in and rang the bell. Finally someone come out and said, "How can I help you?" I said, "I would like to have the key to my room." He said, "What room that would be?" I said, "Room 1. Then he just looked at me and said, "And then you must be Jack Wish." I said, "Yes I am and glad to meet you." He reached over and got the key and said, "Here is the key and how long do you plan to stay?" I said, "Oh, about 3 days or so." "What is for breakfast?" He said, "What would you like to eat?" I said, "Toast and cereal. Sometime like wheat checks or something like that." He said, "Yes, we have that. What would you like on your toast?" I said, "Peanut butter." He said, "Okay, will do. I will bring it up to your room when it is done." I said, "That will be fine." I grabbed the key and just as I got to the room and opened the door, the phone rang. I picked it up and it was Jane and she said, "I see you got there all right." I said, "Yes, and just got to my room too. I am now waiting for breakfast and it should be ready soon." She said, "I love you and talk to you later." I said, "Love you and talk to you later before I go to bed." She said, "Okay." I hung up and just then there was a knock on the door and breakfast was ready. I sat and ate and watched TV. Just as I got done the phone rang and it was the guy behind the desk and he said, "There is someone down here to see you. Do you want me to send him up or do you want to come down?" I said, "I will be right down." I hung up the phone and grabbed my keys and went downstairs and I see a guy sitting at a table. And I guess he was the one. I sat down and he looked at me and said, "I guess you are Jack Wisha." I said, "Yes, I am. I want you to come to my factory and look around and see if you can find something wrong with the plant. I have had all kinds of people look at the plant and just cannot figure out what is wrong with it. Every time I hire someone, within a week they quit and I just cannot keep help. I don't know if it is the boss I have or the working conditions. I just cannot net someone to tell me the truth what is going on. I want you to make like you just started working and go out and do some of the jobs and at the end of the day if you last that long, tell me what is going on in my factory. I can do that for you. Now as long as I can have all the newspaper ads, at least one a week." He said, "You can have all the ads you want, just try to find out what is going on. When can you come to the office and get started?" "Just a minute, let me make a call." "Or what is the name of the factory?" He said, "Ted's Computers and Monitors. I think that is the one I am here to see." Then he said, "Yes, you are in the time you was going to see me was about noon. I am here to see you sooner to talk about what we did earlier." I said, "Okay then I will just go with you now." I said to the guy behind the counter, "If I get any calls just take a message and I will be back later." I left my cell phone on the counter. "Hold this for me too. I will not need it where I am going today." We walked out and he headed toward a car. And we got in and we drove to the factory. When we got there it was a big parking lot and it was almost empty. He said, "I have plenty of orders but just cannot fill them. I just cannot get the help to make anything. I have a small crew but no one wants to stay and work." I said, "I will try to find out what is going on for you." He said, "I hope so." We got there and we went into the office and he said, "Sign this." I looked at it and it say if anything happened to me he would not be liable. "I will not sign this one." He said, "Why?" "I am doing you a favor and if I get hurt or something happens you will be liable for it." He said, "That is fair." "Okay, I want you to report to Sam. He is in the computer repair room. You can start there and within an hour he will take you to one of the other bosses and you can learn other jobs too. At the end of the day I want you to tell me if you see anything going on." That should not be going on. I said, okay, and then he showed me where to go and I went out into the factory and walked for a while and then I see a sign that said, Factory Repair Service with the arrow. I followed the signs and finally I found the repair center. I walked in and it was a really big room with computers and monitors all over the place. I yelled and said, is there anyone here? A voice said, I am over here. I went to the way of the voice and I found a little old man in the corner working on a monitor. I said, where all your help to fix all these is? He looked at me and said, I am the only one left. All I said was go and get a computer or a monitor and fix it. Just have to fix at least 5 a day. What is wrong with them? Most of them there are parts missing and all you have to do is just solder the new parts in and plug it in and make sure it works. Then on to the next one. What happens when someone comes in and starts working and messes up? Like I most likely will. Well, I try to teach them how to fix them but some will not let me teach them and they get mad and just walk out. Well, I want to learn. So show me. He took out a drawing with all the parts to all the monitors that are made and he showed me some of the parts that are missing. Why are you getting all the ones that are not finished? They have so much work out in the factory. If someone misses a part here and there, they just send it out anyway. If it works, they send it one. But if it don't, they send it to me. I said, that is a waste of time on the assembly line. Well, it is not much of an assembly line. If you call 10 people an assembly line. Okay, time to get to work. I went over to one of the workstations and it seemed like on monitor was just about done. I put in some parts and plugged it in and it worked. So I put it together and set it aside with a note on it, all fixed. Then he said, just put it on the pallet that says all done. I said, okay. I put it on the pallet and went back to start on another one. Just then the old man said, come over and take this monitor and put it on the pallet and bring me another one. I said, okay. And before I could get back to my workstation, the man said, go and get me soda out of the machine and pay for it too. I said, go and get your own. I went to the workstation and by the time I got there he come over and said, if you don't get me a soda, I will tell the boss on you and he will fire you. I said, go ahead. He went back over to his station and made a phone call and soon a big guy come over and said, do what the old man said. He has been here a long time and treat him good. Or you can be replaced. I said, so replace me. He is not my boss. He then looked at me and said, okay, you are fired. Go to the main office and see the woman behind the front counter. I said, okay. I left and went to the main counter and she said, you are fired and go home. We will mail your check to you. I said, thank you and I want a paper stating that I am fired. She typed something on paper and handed it to me. It said, you were fired because of talking back to a boss, Tom. I looked at her and said, I thank you for this. I walked back into the factory and she said, you can go that way, you do not work here anymore. Go out that door. I said, okay. I went out the door and it was a little ways but I walked back to the main office and went in. She said, boy, you did not last long. Boy, I will tell you I didn't. I did one thing wrong and they fired me just because I was just trying to do the job I was assigned. I want to see Ted. She said, he is in and let me see if he will see you now. She made a call and she said, he will see you. I walked into the office and he said, boy, you did not last long. I told him what happened and then he said, okay, so that is what is going on. I was wondering. The old man has been here a long time and I was wondering if he was the one that was causing all the trouble. I will take care of it. Now I want you to go to assembly plant and see Taylor. I said, okay, how far away this is? He said, I will have someone take you there. He makes a call and soon someone showed up and took me there. I went to many places in the plant for the next 3 days and all kinds of stuff was going on with the old employees. Some stuff was just not right and was just out of this world. Every time I went out something happened and I got fired. Boy, no wonders he has no one in the plant. Every time he hires some, they fire them. I am now getting the point. They do not want any newcomers in the plant, they want it all for themselves. I told him that, and if he wants new help, he is going to have to fire all the old help, one at a time, like one a week, and put someone else new in their place as boss until there have all been replaces. I say within a month you will have a new crew and can hire some new ones and call some of the ones they fired back. Now about the training of new ones. If you can, you will have to train some so they can train the new ones. He just looked at me and said, I think some of the old ones will listen to you now, since they don't have jobs anymore. He said, I think you are right. Hire them back, but as workers, not bosses. Then see what happens when they are told what to do. I would like for you to set up 3 ads, 1 for hiring and 2 to sell computers and monitors. The thing is, you will be billed for the ads. He said, no matter how much there, it will be worth it. Boy, you went through a lot too. Now I know what is going on and I can take care of it now. I thank you. Send the ads to the main office when you get them done. Please have them done before Monday. He said okay. I left and went back to the inn, and just as soon as I got there, I want some dinner. Okay. He said no problem. What do you want? I said, baked chicken and fries. He said when it is done I will bring it up. I said that will be really good. Soon he brought up dinner and I ate it while watching TV, and a movie started and I watched it until I fell asleep. I woke up to the phone ringing, and by the time I got to it, they hung up. I called down to the front desk and asked who it was. It was Ted and he wanted to talk to you. Call him back and ring up here. He said, okay. A few minutes later the phone rang and he said everything seems to be fine now, and if you can come by and we have the ads ready. I said, okay. I looked at the time and it was almost noon. Boy, I guess I was tired. I called down and ordered lunch. If I want to catch the afternoon space bus, I have to be ready before 7 tonight. So I guess I've got to get ready and eat and make some phone calls after I get back from Tom's. After I got back, I made some calls and got some ads for the paper. It is just about time for the bus, so I checked out and headed to the bus station. Just as soon as I got there, everyone was standing around for the space bus. I just looked at some of them and I think some of them worked at Tom's. They looked at me and said, okay, you who you are anyway? You got us fired. I said, I am Jack Wisha from the Wisha newspaper, and Tom wanted me to work at the plant to see why everyone he hired got fired the first day they went to work. He has a lot of orders to fill and just cannot fill them with what he had for a work crew. That is why he tried to hire some more people to fill all his orders. He has enough orders for a full crew to work for many years. All you guys did was sending some of the business someplace else because he just could not fill them. After a while he would have not had any business because of you guys, and then the factory would close, and then what? The worst thing is you would have been the reason the plant closed. Not putting out good products that worked. So you caused your own problem. Then the space bus showed up and everyone got on. I went to my room and called the captain and said, come and wake me up when we get there. He said, okay. Story done by Jack Wisha.